Welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast, a production from Empowering Pumps and Equipment as the voice of the pump and related equipment industry. Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 115 of the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charli Matthews, and I'm normally joined by my co-host, Bethany Womack. She is taking some personal time right now, and I want to try to do the podcast without her. I'm not going to enjoy it as much, but I want to give you what you come here for every Monday, which is normally we cover the social media updates. We preview the news from Empowering Pumps and Equipment, and then we give you an industry influencer. So what I want to cover on social media is Manufacturing Monday. This gives us a chance to highlight one of our partners, and it gives you a chance to participate on social media. So this week, we're going to cover Cornell Pumps. They have been producing robust, high-efficiency pumps in Oregon since 1946. They provide pumps in agriculture, industrial, food applications, mining, rental, oil and gas. Their pumps are for clear liquid, solids handling, grit, slurry, food handling, refrigeration pumps, and also vertical turbines. They provide reliability and interchangeability demands for critical applications. They also offer pump models and configurations to fit into existing installations, and they work with the customer to build custom systems to satisfy the needs. They also have a technical and engineering staff that can help them, provide high quality, innovative pump solutions, which is awesome. Also, what is awesome is their tagline: efficient by design. And they're here every day to serve you. So check out the link in the show notes and visit them on our website and learn more about them. Also in social media, I want you to know that it's National Welders Month. We're going to be covering an interview later on this episode. If you didn't listen to last one, you don't know who it is, so I won't spoil it. So stick around to the interview. You don't want to miss it. And then I did want to kind of give you an update on our virtual meetups. Really great ones. If you're listening to this when it comes out on Monday, there is a mentorship circle, which is what we're doing on Empowering Women. What we're doing on Empowering Women every second Monday. And so check that out. We're also having a book club and our regular meetups that happen. We're going to have a networking session on April the 13th at 11 Central Time. And then our Empowering Pumps meetup, it is April the 19th. That's every third Tuesday at 10 a.m. And really excited to bring you our Pump Talk celebrity, which if you haven't gotten a chance to look at our digital magazine yet, he is the star in there. Nick Terranova is a product manager for Homa Pump Technologies, and he's going to come and share with us shop floor to product manager is what he did. So I guess project engineering. I don't know why I can't say that today, but that's what was making me stumble. Okay, so you can pre-register for those events, links in the show notes, and you can get the Zoom link right in the show notes. So show up, and this is not good. Okay, I don't know why I'm beating myself up on this, but I'm really missing Bethany, and it's so much more fun when we get to talk about this together. One thing that I'd like to do is give a shout out. Melissa Meeker of the Water Tower. We did a video this week interview with her to get ready for the Water Tower demo day, which is April the 22nd. It's in Georgia. If you are able to attend, I think it would be well worth it. I'll be there doing some podcast interviews as well. And I'm just really excited for her. She's an entrepreneur that is giving back after all of her years of service in the water industry. And I'm just so happy to be a part of it. So I will also link in the show notes to h2otower.org is what it is. But check out the Water Tower and see how you can get involved. The other thing I want you to do is make sure that you've signed up for our digital magazine and our newsletter. Also, I will put those links in the show notes. Okay, so I'm not going to do the news this week. This is a Saturday, and I was not prepared because this kind of came out of nowhere. And so, what I'd like to do is just jump into the interview. Okay, today we are going to share an awesome interview with you. I was really excited. It was actually recorded on our birthday. So we've just been holding on to it for National Welding Month and being able to share it during this time. But this interview is between Brent Flavin and Chris Meaux, and they teamed up to bring you BoomNation. And Brent, so Brent is the co-founder and CEO of BoomNation. He's from Louisiana, teamed up with Chris Meaux, who is an entrepreneur, and he also may have done some work around and you may have know of this. It's called the Waitr app. I don't know if any of you have used it, but he is definitely going to help change the Okay, now it's time for our industry interview. Today, I am going to share an interview that I did back on my birthday in February. So, thank you both to Brent Flavin and Chris Meaux for celebrating that with me again. It was really fun to see that this week and how we shared that moment together. But I'm really excited about sharing BoomNation with all of you. We have been looking for ways for the skills trades to be able to talk to each other, find opportunities in the job market. And so I just challenge you to stick around and learn more about how you can get involved, or if you are looking for a position as a skills trade person, this is new and should help you. So yeah, I guess let's get to the interview. Hi, I am so glad to have you here on the Empowering Industry podcast. I have to first say it is my birthday, so what a treat that I get to spend the time with you. But let's start. Just introduce yourself and tell us what's your story. Chris, I'll let you go first.
All right, I'll go first. First off, happy birthday.
Thank you.
My birthday was last week. So
okay, wonderful. Aquarius in the house.
That's right, I'm Aquarius. So my name is Chris Meaux. I'm the chairman and co-CEO of BoomNation. And BoomNation is a platform that was built to bring workers together with employers for community, content, and communication, all of which we hope leads to finding them jobs.
All right. But Chris, tell us a little bit about you. How did you get to BoomNation? Can you tell us your background or any other tidbit about your story?
Absolutely. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Most of my career has been in technology and software. In 2013, my wife and I had a need to find a better way of getting dinner at night. And so I started a food delivery company called Waitr, built it from an idea on a napkin into an exit of $308 million when we sold it in 2018. And so Brent is from Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is where I started Waitr, knew of me through that opportunity. And he and a couple of his co-founders started BoomNation, needed someone with experience and expertise in scaling and growing large businesses. So he reached out. I thought it was a great idea, and I joined the team back in August.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, Brent, tell us a little about you and how you got in this industry. And what's your story?
Yeah, thanks, Charli, for having us. Happy birthday as well.
Yeah.
So look, a group of co-founders and myself, all of us had been either grown up in blue collar towns or been in construction industry our entire careers, and we'd experienced some of the pain and the friction of trying to find a job, and being on a project, working yourself off of a project, and not quite knowing what's out there for you in the future. And we also experienced some of the, having to fax your resumes and waiting in line for jobs and things like that. So, what we wanted to try to do is really bring technology to this industry, but do it in a way that this industry has historically done it, and just enhanced the way that they've done it. So, in the past, it was using your word of mouth network and trying to find opportunities that way, and you'd find them. But there was always periods of time where you're off of work, and really too long of periods of time, like weeks or months, right?
Right.
And so
nobody wants to be the unknown of that, right? That's just no fun.
No, especially whenever you're trying to support your family. And so we really think that we bring an opportunity for transparency for the worker and finding those opportunities that are out there for them to be able to, like I said, support their family. And to give you an example, we've had workers that have gotten hired 15 minutes away from their front door. They'd never heard about the company, didn't know about the job, perfect resume. They've been off of work for a number of weeks, and the companies were starving for workers and having to turn down projects because they didn't have enough workers. And in today's day and age, that shouldn't happen, right? There's technology that exists to be able to help companies and help companies and workers communicate better in order to find meaningful work. And so that's why we created BoomNation, and we're humble that we've got the opportunity to do it. We've got a great team, and excited about the opportunities ahead. So thank you for having us.
I love the part where you're bringing the workers and the jobs, right? The companies that are looking for the jobs and bringing them together. I think the technology and kind of that the back end that people don't think about of how do you find that, how do you find that a job exists, or even how do you find companies in your area? Because that's really, there's not a great resource to do that either. But the other side of that is this community. And I would love you to talk a little bit about this skilled worker community. Why is that different?
I'll start it off and then I'll let Brent expand on it. But community is important because people need to be able to share their work, network with other members in the community that might be like-minded. So for example, if I'm a welder and I do good work, I need a community to be able to share that work or get tips about my work or how I can improve with other welders or electricians or whatever it might be. And so community is important because we're all humans, and humans, I guess, excel when they're in the presence of other great people. And so community allows you to network with like-minded professionals. And I'll kick it off with Brent. We have a newsletter called The Trench, and it's Brent, I'll let you tell her about The Trench because that's a big part of community and combining the community with content that's relevant for those specific workers that are looking to not only have community and networking, but content. So, and what do we say, Brent? It's for workers, by workers, or
for workers, by workers. Yep, on The Trench. And I mean, Charlie, we're just really excited about having that kind of connection with the worker. And we've really, I think, been on point in terms of having the relevant content that both honestly workers and employers want to see, right? And that they're familiar with, that they're engaging with, that they're interacting with, and that gives them a reason to be a part of the community and to come on the platform and to remain on the platform. So the trench was an idea to have a line of communication with workers and employers on industry news, on upskilling and reskilling, on locations for community colleges. We've even got a map on there for RV locations for the folks that travel across the United States, and we're building that out on a daily basis and trying to get more accurate information both to the employers and the workers, and something that we feel like that these industries have not had for too long.
Yeah. So, and I'll have to say too, that it's fun. Like just you jump on there and it's fun. As soon as you get on there, I told everyone, I'll tell you before the call, I told them like, this is some of my favorite people. The tradesmen and women are so fun. And I learned that through our conference that we do. We have a tradeswoman award that we give out at the Empowering Women in Industry conference. And just getting that group together is one of the funnest places to be. So I can relate to that. I can relate to wanting to create something for them. And just the jobs, you mentioned welding. And I remember the first time I used the welding hashtag on Instagram, and there were all these different welds that I was like, they're proud of these welds. And then, once you try to weld, then like why they're proud of it. It's hard. It takes
Well,
a
Charli,
talent.
they certainly, the feedback that we keep getting from workers on a daily basis, and then we got early on, which made us really realize that we needed to do this. We needed to make the commitment to build it and do it for skilled workers and for employers was finally, right? Like finally somebody created something like this for us. And what they meant by that is they knew there were other things out there. They were trying to engage on those other platforms and trying to form communities or interact and have interactions and digest content on those platforms, but it just wasn't relevant, right? It wasn't for them. It wasn't that party that you're talking about where those skilled women get together and they're comfortable, right? And they're
hard
allowed
too, right? It's hard to find all of that. You're weeding.
There's a
through
lot
so
of
many
noise. There's a lot of noise on those other platforms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry, I interrupted you there, Brent. I'm terrible interrupting you, my guest.
No, that's okay. We wanted to create a way that they could sift through the noise and get straight to the things that are important, right? And that's the community that we built. When you're sharing your pride of workmanship, you're sharing with other members of the community that can appreciate the work that you do. Like welding, for example. I know that firsthand too, because I looked at it and said, oh, that can't be that difficult. But when you try it, it is extremely difficult, right? So people who have mastered it want to be able to share that they've mastered it with other aspiring welders. And we give them the community to be able to do that through our news feed and through the community that we've built in the BoomNation app.
I love it. Okay. So we've mentioned welding a couple of times. What are some other jobs that people can look for in the community?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really everything skilled trades, right? But like some industries that we serve, so construction, industrial, commercial, manufacturing, oil and gas, transportation, warehousing, utilities, and really, a few more as well. But, trades, we mentioned welders, electricians, operators, pipe fitters, millwrights, laborers, right? I mean, if you work with your hands, if you've got a skill, I mean, BoomNation's the place for you. And so we want to welcome you with open arms. And there's something you mentioned, there's not really a place for them they're so proud of their work, right? And in the skilled trades, you're building something, you're building very important things right across the country. And there's no place really today for you to be able to go showcase your work, right? And what we think that we do is allow them they come on the platform, they build out their profile, they can load up job site pictures or pictures of their work on their profile in a digital version. So they don't have to fax a resume anymore. When they apply for a job, that information goes over to the employer, right? But it's genuinely a place for them to showcase what it is that they can do, how hard they've worked, how long they've been in the trades, and to be able to do that amongst their peers, right? And to celebrate amongst each other.
Yeah, I love that community aspect, and it's right on. And I think, the other aspect from the company's perspective on, okay, how do I get involved with this? If they're out there, listening to this and they want to kind of plug in with y'all, what is that process like for a company to say, hey, we do have a job?
It's extremely easy. I mean, we talk with executives, HR folks, recruiters. We're on daily demonstrations and showing them the product and onboarding them. So they can, if they want to reach out to us, they can go to info@BoomNation, or they can email us at info@BoomNation.com. You can go to BoomNation.com/hiring and inquire there. You can even go online and sign up yourself, but we recommend reaching out to us, scheduling a time with our business development managers. And I'm on a lot of those calls today, and making sure that they get onboarded correctly, they get their jobs posted up correctly, and that we've got the candidates coming in and the qualified candidates coming in. Sometimes we might have to tweak a thing or two in order for it to get moving or get working at the level in which we want it to get working at. But extremely easy to sign up, takes a few minutes at most. And the experience when you get on the platform, to be honest, we're very proud of it. We've got some significant innovation coming out here very soon. And it's frictionless, it's seamless, it's easy. And we're going to continue with that. Okay.
And it is nationwide as far as the exposure and everything. Okay. The other thing I just wanted to talk about, because you mentioned it earlier about, and I think it may have been before we started the call, but the workers that are here are going to work to take care of their families, and they're doing this job, and their jobs are vital to our lives so that we can live the way that we, are comfortable in. There's so many of these jobs that I think are hidden. And once we kind of dive in and can appreciate that. So I also want to just appeal to, our audience who maybe don't consider themselves a skilled worker to really dive into that and look. But the other side of that is just know, like, these jobs are vital to life and they're so important. And these workers, the skilled workers, are doing it for their families. And I just love that. So, that circular approach there is beautiful. So the community, and then just appreciating the community. I think it's wonderful. So I love the, excitement around like BoomNation here. We're here for you. I love everything. So tell me a little bit about that. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I know it doesn't like just happen. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but tell me the story of, why you came up with BoomNation.
I mentioned it a little bit at the beginning. There was, I'll tell you honestly, we started out as a job board, and we did a really good job in that product version that we had, but we knew that there needed to be something different and something more meaningful. And it was all through really right before this call, we had a product demo with a current customer of ours, and that we were going over innovation that we're rolling out with. And we were getting customer feedback from that employer. And we do that weekly, and we do it with workers as well. We've got a webinar at 6 p.m. on Thursday with a group of workers where we're getting feedback from them on what they want, what they like, what they don't like. And we're going to continue that innovation both for employers and for workers. And so, there's been iterations along the way, and there will continue to be. We want to get this right. We genuinely care about it, deeply care about it, and deeply care about getting it right and providing the experiences and the meaningful opportunities for the people that we serve. But it really was it wasn't lightning in a bottle, right? It took a lot of work, and it continues to, and us talking with customers, getting customer feedback, and getting it right for them.
Yeah,
so
let me give you an example of why this is so important. So I've worked in corporate America. I'm sure you may have in the past as well. When you start a job in corporate America, you get several things that are going to aid you in your job. You get an email account, you get a desk, you get a telephone, a cubicle, next to other employees. When skilled workers start a job, they get an employee number, and that's it. Because they're out in the field. They don't get a desk, they don't get a phone, they don't get a cubicle, they don't have an email address. They have no other means of feeling like they are a part of that work community for that company. We are going to launch later in the fall, next fall, what we call My Work. And it's going to be, and that's the communication part of the community content, communication, and jobs, right? So it's going to be a way for a worker to actively participate as a member of the employer community for the employer that they are employed with. So they'll have a way to communicate, they'll have a way to get company announcements, they'll have a means to showcase their work, which we give them today. They're going to have the means to be a part of a group. So employers will be able to communicate to a group of their employees, to a group of prospective employees, to a group of ex or former employees, to let them know that there's more work coming available. So it really will provide what Brent talked about earlier, transparency of opportunity and expanding that community. That's not happening today. It is on the white collar side, right? You also get a Slack account and other things that you can communicate with in your company. And so we want to make sure that when you're hired on at that company, that you feel like you are a part of that company. That's part of the community. So not only are you part of the community of workers, but you're also a community of employees with that employer that you're working on. And then also will have easier access to other jobs that employee is going to do. Because many of our members, they work themselves out of a job, right? They are project-based workers. So they go for this project, it ends at a certain time, and then they are on to the next project. Well, that company may have the next project already queued up, but they have no way of communicating to that worker that there's another project coming right behind this one. And so that worker ends up working for someone else instead of staying with the current employer. We're going to bridge that gap. It's an important part of what we're going to do, and we're calling it My Work. And that is something that we will introduce this next fall.
Well, I love it. I've had that actually come up as far as trying to send these people that were, part of these challenges that we were doing, where it's hands-on out in the field kind of work. And I would ask them for their email. And they're like, I don't
have one. Yeah.
And so I think that's wonderful. I want to say, like, I can totally see this and how this is going to help, just that they have a place, like you're saying, about that feel of community, and like, okay, this is where I go. They're going to help me here. They're going to, help me figure out how to have my next job lined up. Whether it's, on the, employee side, right? Somebody's looking for a job, or the workers. I need to say that, right? The skilled workers, because the other side of this is something I don't know. And I'm not sure if this is the right time to ask it, but so there's unions that also in some other areas. And then there's just like, okay, we're going to hire this person. So how do those things work together? Is that incorporated in that at all? How does that work?
Well, I think
Charli, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I'll start, Brent, just say something real quick, but it's for workers, right? And employers. Of course, unions are, I guess you could say it's a community of workers, right? And they have some union local where they can go to meetings and other kinds of things, right? But they are typically focused on real specific tasks there. Okay. This gives employers transparency of opportunity, right? And so they can see what opportunities out there, whether it's unionized, non-unionized, really wouldn't matter, right? It's an opportunity. Okay. And then it allows them to act on that opportunity. That's what they can do today. So they can go to the app, they can sign up, create a profile, put their qualifications in. An employer can find them. They can find an opportunity within that employer, and they can immediately apply for that opportunity. So whether it's unionized or non-union really wouldn't matter from our perspective.
Okay.
No, Charli, we genuinely had just as much excitement and interest from what you're describing, merit-based companies as well as union-based companies. And we a lot of the unions that we've had conversations with have described some of the same challenges, and really the same challenges the merit-based companies have. And that's sense of community, communicating with workers, making sure that workers are aware of the opportunities that are out there, and connecting the right skill with the right job. And so, we don't distinguish between union-based or merit-based. We believe that we can solve and serve both of them equally.
Thank you. I was really confused about it, so I appreciate you helping me. Chris?
Well, and one of the important, we talk about transparency of opportunity, but one of the important parts of that is wage transparency, right? So we require the employers to include wages and per diems, if they have it, in the job listings. Mm-hmm. So there's transparency there. It's not an unknown. So when you apply for that job, it's going to be within this range. That is what you're going to be getting paid. And that's whether it's union or merit, it doesn't matter.
No, that's really neat. And, I think that would probably help on the pay gap a little bit, just so they know what they are getting paid or what the job is worth, as far as empowering women. I always have that hat on. So one thing that is just really neat, we are actually coming to New Orleans soon. I see all of your, Drew Brees. No. But yeah, exactly. But New Orleans, we love it there. We've been to trade shows many times there, but that community, I'm sure has just more skilled workers there that are needed with the, I can't even think of the word right now, like the cargoes, the shipyards and different things that are going through there. But just in general, I love that this is not just on one region. It's nationwide. So, I mean, the technology part, which we just kind of skirted over there, because I think in order to do this, you really do have to connect the people with the technology and making it easy for them. So, jumping on there, I've already signed up. I've got my newsletter coming to me. But these apps and these websites and making it really easy for the worker to join, I think you're going down the right road. And I'm just so excited that, you are creating it for this industry.
Yeah, see, that's another important part of what we do. We are mobile first. And why are we mobile first? Because that's where the workers are. The workers do everything on their phone. Like we talked about earlier, they don't have a desktop computer. They don't have the phone. They don't have the cubicle. They don't have, their office is their phone basically, or wherever they're working, right? So we're mobile first, which makes it easily accessible. It's something that they are used to doing all day, every day, being on their phone. That really is the only way that employers have to, the only way they can communicate with those workers is through text, right? If they have their cell phone number. So this makes it much easier. Everything can be done in the app. You can consume the content. You can be a part of the community. You can find like-minded workers. You can communicate with your employer. You can communicate with your employee. It can all be done right there on the mobile phone.
All right. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this video out. We're going to put in the show notes all of the links that they would need, your contact information, obviously. But is there anything else that you want to say? I'll give y'all both the kind of the last word here for our audience.
Brent, I'll let you go first.
Sure. Sure. Excuse me. First off, thanks for having us, Charlie. This has just been incredible. And thanks for the support and everything that you guys do and enthusiasm. We've been just incredibly thankful for the folks that have been interested in helping us. And we're committed to getting it done, right? And so, one thing that I think that we could end on, we've talked a lot about community here, is like, we have created it and will continue to create and innovate for, and if I'm talking directly to the audience, you, right? Like employers and workers, right? Building, having relevant content, the tools in which you need to get meaningful work. And at the end of the day, what we're all trying to do is do it so we can support our families. So I'll end on that. And thank you so much for having it. It's been a joy.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll add to that is, if you're a worker looking for work, especially a skilled trade, just download the BoomNation app, sign up, create your profile, and start applying.
You heard it. I love it. And so I can't wait to hear just all the stories about people connecting. And I absolutely love it. I tell you, I went on there just today and I'm reading and it's fun. It's fun because that's the industry that we love, the workers that are doing the hard work out there. We want to appreciate them. And we appreciate you, entrepreneurs out there, creating something like this and using a problem that you've experienced. And now there's a solution for it. So thanks again.
One more thing for me to say. Thank you for spending your birthday with us.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
I was like, who's this podcast with? Okay, BoomNation. I can relate to you, and I built my company on digital first too, and I get it, and I love community, and we're building those communities. Hopefully, we'll get to see each other in person soon. And like I said, we'll be in New Orleans in October, the 13th. That's our Empowering Women in Industry, and don't worry. Guys can come too. It's totally fun. And then November, we're going to have a conference in Texas, and it's skilled workers, or will definitely be part of that. So I think we can talk after, but I think there's some opportunities later this year where we can hopefully get to meet each other.
Well, we look forward to meeting you in person.
Wonderful. Okay. Let me... Okay, that brings us to the end of our show. Thanks for listening, everybody. Do us a favor, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars, give us a shout out. We love that. You can reach us at Empowering Pumps or using the hashtag Empowering Industry Podcast. You can also email us, podcast@Empowering Pumps, and we'll be back next week with a new episode. So until then, be empowering. was hard without you, Bethany. I miss you.